Nigerians were in 79, and as we speak, they're still very much.
But they are not on the driver's seat, these old people.
Says who?
They are not on the driver's seat.
I'm sure you want people to tell you names.
No,
That's what you call it for.
Wait. Registering a party is one. Using the party to fulfill or to champion your own political aspiration is another. People don't get these things wrong. I don't see a 70-year-old person going to contest for councillorship position using the APC.
Not even a presidential position using the APC?
No, wait. That's one. I don't also see somebody who is 70 years and above looking for the president of the APC.
But don't forget, you haven't joined yet. When you join...
No, I'm joining. By tomorrow now, I will join. I'll go to the village and register. My word. It's not a problem. But I'm just telling you. You see, when you have a platform, there are several positions to vie for. And these positions will be contested for by people who are qualified to run for those positions. And once you have met the age as prescribed in the Constitution, you are legally bound to contest. Okay. But the issue is, the main position you are looking at, maybe perhaps you are looking at the presidency, as it were.
Well, let's quickly leave that and see, because...
Is it a crime to look at that?
No, it's not. It's not a crime. What I'm saying is that he's looking at presidency and perhaps people are narrowing down to some persons who are known to be perpetual aspirants.
And you don't see that happen. you say you don't see that happen.
I don't see that happening in the APC, with the spirit driving APC now. No.
But with respect to the kind of...
We will ensure that, strong minds who will fall into what you call youths, with agility, with knowledge, with, hands-on.
With respect to the kind of politics we play in the country, because, you talked about ruling parties not giving opposition opportunities to vent themselves, that you like to play opposition. Don't you think that mindset, if a lot of people in the APC have it, assuming without considering that's the case, wouldn't that be an albatross? Because if they are usually critics, they criticize, and criticize. When you eventually get to the driver's seat,
when you criticize,
there will be a lot of criticism waiting if they take the wrong step.
Yes, criticism that is constructive is very helpful to democracy.
But in some cases, we've seen destructive.
Constructive criticism. And again, in our mindset in the country, we have not come to terms with opposition politics. We don't see opposition as an integral part of the democratic process. We see opposition as enemies of progress. That is our perception in Nigeria. But opposition is an integral part.
That is also the mentality in your state as well.
Sorry,
opposition? Is that how you also see the opposition in your state?
No, we don't. We consider them as busybodies, because when somebody is working,
let's talk about. Let's talk quickly.
Are you still criticizing working? Do you want him to stop working?
Mr. Afegbua, we really don't have time. Yes. Your state was in the news 48 hours ago, and for some they say it looks like it's for the wrong reason, seeing officials in fisticuff in public, and it has to do with the Benin airport and FAN officials, even though we understand that that has been settled. Perhaps you should bring Nigerians up to speed what truly transpired.
No, well, on Tuesday, the board of members of the Board of Internal Revenue, I have seen the visuals on your television and other television stations, went and enforced the order of court, by sealing up the administrative office of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. And by extension, the members of the FAN also went and sealed up their own airport, the gates, the exit and the entry gates to the airport, preventing passengers from traveling and those who travel from coming out. And so it became, serious altercations and all of that. But again, we felt embarrassed by the action of FAN, even though the issues have been settled now. The FAN MD visited the governor yesterday with his own delegation, and the issues were laid bare. What is at issue was simply the issue of tax payment. And as at 2012, FAN is owing the state government 14.9 million. From deductions from employees, which is called pay as you earn. It's a federal law. It's not a law made by those states.
So it's not
so we found it very curious and very ridiculous.
Related?
I'm coming to your point. We find it very curious and ridiculous that the spokesperson for FAN came and was saying that we're charging tenements that they have been exempted. I was quoting the FAN Establishment Act. It's far from that. Personal income tax, also known as pay as you earn, are deductions from your employees, which federal government will deduct from the state government, and the state government will collect from the employees resident in a particular state. There was nothing that should have caused, all these altercations and what have you. But for the fact that the issue was not handled well by management of FAN in Benin City. Because as of 2009, up to 2009, they redeemed the payments of 23-point-something billion, 2.7 million thereabout, to the state government.
Since they did that then, why didn't you employ the same means to get this? Why didn't you employ the same means you used in 2009 to also get this?
You see, let me tell you, we didn't want even politics to be read into the action of the Board of Internal Revenue, because this order had been given since May, and we have served them notices since that time. We have served them notices, and all that. Once the tax authority has done its own assessment and demand notice is served and all that, it's expected that you comply. So since May up till now, they've not complied. So they had to enforce this. Because if we had done it that time, they would say it was because the Comrade Governor was the Comrade Governor's helicopter that was taken to Oka was impounded or was grounded. That was why we were trying to do that. So we didn't do that. We still serve them notices and all that. What is wrong in asking them to give us deductions from pay as you earn?
So what's the position now?
Well, while the meeting was going on yesterday before I went to catch my flight, the airports are open. At least I flew into Lagos yesterday evening, and I've been told this morning that they've agreed to pay the money, 14-point-something million. Nama is also owing about 25 million.
Are they going to pay?
They have no option. If they can recall a helicopter of the governor for failure of the pilot coming to pay the landing fees and what have you fees that you never recall it, what will stop them from not paying? If they don't pay, we'll seal it off. It's as simple as that, because the law grants the state or the tax authority, the distraining order to take over any property owned by anybody who is defaulting in tax payment. It's a federal law. It's not our law. So further to that, we might also institute a criminal charge against the management of a FAN for unsealing what was sealed by a court order.
Well, we also had the arguments as to how it was the FAN administrative quarters that was sealed, not the airport itself.
I've said it. I've said it here. The administrative office is different from the airport premises.
How did they miss it, saying that it was the airports and that I think you made reference to people not being allowed?
Yes, it was the airport authority that wanted to make an issue out of that, just to embarrass the state. But the administrative wing is quite far off from the main airport premises and all that. But now they have unsealed it without the Board of Internal Revenue doing that. That means it's a contempt of court. When court says you should seal, you should distrain.
What's the fate of Mr. Elama? Has he been released? Because we understand he was arrested.
Well, I think there are quite a number of conflicting reports, because the Inspector General of Police said he didn't authorize anybody to arrest the Board of Internal Revenue chairman. He's been released since on that day. We didn't know what the role of the Commissioner of Police was, because if the IG, what we had was that the IG said they should bring him to Abuja, only for him to be released, and it was told that the IG said he never gave such an order. We actually found that one also curious, because the manager of the airport, who, I saw it on your television and several other TV stations, who was trying to assault a tax official, should have been the one to be apprehended and arrested. while the Commissioner of Police was right there, before him, this was happening. He didn't do that. So that's the political aspect of it. But they have come to apologize to the state government for causing us embarrassment. They did that yesterday. And we've since, just like partners in progress, but we would insist on the payment of that tax. If they don't pay, we'll still off. Because it's a court order that the Board of Internal Revenue is carrying out.
And when the admin office is sealed, it doesn't directly affect the airports and passengers?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Even if it does, you have to do certain things based on the provisions of law to get certain things done.
But I'm sure you will also be mindful of the impression people will have if they hear
you see, we keep hammering on this impression. You see, if you want...
With respect to airports being sealed, not admin office being sealed.
My brother, let us even work with the scenario that the airport itself was sealed.
Preventing passengers from coming out.
Yes, that's coming out or going in. What is wrong in that? If
that's false imprisonment. If you prevent people who are blinded from coming out, and they can sue.
You see,
that's what it is.
It's not false imprisonment. We didn't. We listen. I'm just telling you, I said, let us even work with the scenario. The airport officials were the one who sealed their own gates.
Yeah, I get the point.
Yeah, because even on your TV, you saw the Board of Internal Revenue saying they should force the gate.
Yeah, that's why I did ask that. Ordinarily, it wasn't the state that did that. But you were even saying, even if it was, what is wrong with that?
We are working with, even if we work with that scenario, yes.
But there's something wrong with that if you work with that scenario. Yes, there is.
I've seen companies being picketed.
No, that's different.
Okay.
Because if you
are carrying out, listen. If you carry out,
that's false imprisonment.
Listen, you are just quoting. You go to court. We'll go and prove it there. A court gave an order. The court
gave the admin office. No problem.
It didn't say the admin office. We used our discretion. I will give you the court judgment when I'm leaving, so that you can study.
So there's nothing wrong in sealing the
airport. I'm just telling you,
it's
a distraining order. It's a law. The law is there. It's written in black and white. It is not our law. And they said in taking this issue to court, the judge sitting in chambers can give that particular order. And based on that order, if it's a distraining order, it is not only about selling alone. We have the right to sell and redeem the tax that is due.
But at the same time, you cannot infringe on other people's rights.
We are not infringing on
That's the way it is. It's the law.
Tax payment is not always at the convenience of anyone. Let me tell you, the tax man is the most hated person in the society. Well, tax people all over the world.
Again, the different kettle of fish entirely.
So when you're able to pay tax in Nigeria, for a country that has not been known to be paying taxes, when you now tell them to pay tax, it becomes a problem.
And for governments that don't do much with the tax that Nigerians pay.
But then you don't have a right to even take such a government to task on issue of non-performance if you don't pay tax.
And when you pay and they don't do anything, what happens?
You have the right to take them to tax and take up arms against them.
I think that settles it.
Let me tell you, they say taxpayers' money, taxpayers' money.
Quid pro quo.
We in Edo State, we are not rich. What we get from federation account is very minimal. And so if the federal government is taking the deductions at source from in Abuja and they give us a paltry sum, and then you will say we should not collect our own tax back home, that will be missing the point.
Well, I'm sure none of us said you should not collect your tax from here. So maybe it's out there.
And you have to make sure that you pay your tax.
What makes you think we don't? If we didn't, you know what will happen. Kassim Afegbua
encourage people to pay tax.
It's a special advisor, media and public affairs to Edo State Governor. We also encourage states and federal governments to do what they are supposed to do with the tax paid by citizens. Thank you for coming on this morning.
We are performing well in Edo State, and I'm sure Suleiman
let the people be the judge of that.
I'm part of the people.
No, you're in government. We're back after the break. Please join us again.